The focus of this recording is to provide insight into the setup of a formula and a bill of material. As was noted in the overview, a key feature benefit of process manufacturing solution for Acumatica powered by eWorkplace apps is allowing the user to maintain a formula independently, regardless of how many products it is used in. Before we look at an existing formula, let's add a new one. The sole purpose of moving to this screen is to show you that a formula can be based upon a percent of weight, a percent of volume, or a discrete unit of measure. If a percent of weight or volume is used, the user needs to enter in a typical formula size. Now, let's look at an existing formula. Unlike many process manufacturing solutions, the Acumatica solution supports routing. How is the item produced from a process aspect? It starts with a work center that holds details related to cost, shifts, overhead, etc. For each step, the user can denote setup time, run times, and other details needed for costing or capacity planning purposes. If you do not want to record labor, but need labor as part of your cost, you will use the backflush feature. As noted in the overview, having quality integrated in the system is key for process manufacturers. Here, you see for operation 20, it could have been for every operation, that either during or upon completion of the blending step, the moisture needs to be tested to ensure it meets its product standards. You would not want to further process a non-conforming product. Staying with quality, the system allows you to enter or link to the standard operating procedures instructions that must be followed. Next is a checklist. In many operations, the users must document that some tasks are performed. Here, you see that the system will require the operator to digitally document that the oven was clean and ensure the temperature was within the correct range. Another key requirement for many process manufacturers is the need to support both weight and volume units of measure. As we move to the setup of an item, raw material or ingredient, we see we can support the standard weight to weight, volume to volume conversions. And since we support density, you can see we're also able to support conversions from volume to weight and weight to volume of units of measure. An overarching need for some process manufacturers is the need to know the chemical physical makeup of an item. Here, you see the user can enter details regarding the chemical makeup of each raw material. We are working on an integration with providers such as Lisom and Genesis as a way to maintain and update this information. As we have discussed, a formula, recipe, can be based upon a percent of weight, percent of volume, or discrete unit of measure. The system allows the user to use a unit of measure within the formula that is different than the stocking unit of measure. Another key element in process manufacturing is losses. Here, the user can denote losses. Some industries use the term overage at the line level. The ingredient might evaporate, like alcohol, or it is a powder and dissipates when poured into the mixer. Staying on the subject of losses, let's move to the Totals tab. Here, the user can enter in the production loss they expect. Maybe they expect a 10% loss. Along with these two types of losses, some processes have a constant loss. You have a fill line, so lines need to be flushed, and whether you make 100 gallons or 1,000 gallons, you'll always lose 10 gallons as you flush the pipes. In a similar vein, maybe you are a mixer, and X number of pounds will stick to the paddle whenever you make a batch, whether it's 1,000 pounds or 10,000 pounds. The solution also allows you to denote upper and lower tolerances. In some cases, due to the season, current supplies, etc., a user might allow the floor to vary what is used in the formula. If so, this allows them to limit what those variations would be. As needed, you could add consumables, items in the formalization process you want to include for cost reasons, and you might actually want to control them from an inventory aspect. You could add byproducts that might result from the formalization process. You could also denote the tools that you might be using, and overhead can be applied based upon material, labor, and a number of other factors. Along with losses that we have talked about, the Totals tab will show you the total cost of the item, both from the aspect of weight and volume. You can assign an owner to the formula, and there's an approval process. As you see throughout Acumatica, there's a complete event history for audit and validation purposes. Finally, you see where the form is used. As stated earlier, for a process manufacturer, it is key to have the ability to control a formula in one place, regardless of where it's used. Now let's drill into a formula, an item that uses this formula. We see this formula is being used for a 3-ounce mug. We see there's a routing step to transform the formula into a finished good. We need to pack it. As we move to the Materials tab, we see there's packaging material that's needed. On the totals page, we see the cost breakdown between the formula and the bill of material. This allows a user, especially those having formulas used in different pack sizes, or someone who's doing private labeling, a quick way to see the underlying cost related to the formula, as well as the cost to transform it into a finished good. Hope this recording provided you insight into the formula and bill of material aspect of the process manufacturing solution. Thank you for your time, and be safe and well.